With the NHL, NBA, MLB, and MLS seasons all on pause, and all spring NCAA sports, as well as the XFL ending their seasons mid-season, we now have to look to the fall to see what might happen to the NFL and college football season. In this video, I will be addressing some of the different possibilities the NCAA might be looking into. As COVID-19 continues to be a serious threat to people of all ages, the sports world continues to struggle with what is the right answer. The WWE decided to pre-tape WrestleMania in an empty arena, which was a welcome distraction but still felt a little weird. Dana White bought a private island to continue to host international fights, which is something you'd see in a movie. The world is currently a crazy place and people have more questions than answers right now, but we need to continue to listen to medical professionals. A lot is going to change over the next few months, and the NCAA is going to need to make some tough decisions. And these are some of the options they might be considering. Option 1. We ignore everything and fill stadiums with the virus still going on. 2 weeks later, the US sees a major increase in cases, hospitals get overrun again, everything closes down again, and because we ignored health officials, the season gets canceled, and the US is worse off. Now I know this sounds dramatic, but this actually might be a possibility if people decide not to listen to these medical professionals. And I know that's controversial to say. Option 2, the doomsday option. The doomsday option is where college football season is canceled as a whole. This sounds like a crazy idea, but so is the idea of canceling March Madness and having WrestleMania in an empty season. This would absolutely suck if this were to happen, and would change the college football world. Many programs might need to shut down with the loss in revenue, and many smaller programs at said schools may suffer as well. Athletic directors are already saying if this were to happen, their programs may be ended for good. Though the thing we need to remember is these players are student athletes. Keyword on students. If a university is saying it's not safe for students to return to campus, then neither should the athletes for their own safety. March Madness was canceled due to the risk of traveling and having people close together, and those are rosters of 12 to 15 people each. Most college football teams have rosters greater than 75 people. The other thing is, a lot of Division I schools are public state universities, and they need to listen to their state governments. Something interesting that might come out of this option is to see if players decide to jump to the XFL, feeling they might need more film for the NFL draft. Option 3. Empty stadiums. I personally almost rank this worse than option 2 because this means COVID-19 is still hitting the country hard. If it's not safe to have fans in stadiums or gatherings larger than 50 people, then it should not be okay to have student athletes play a game and have them traveling around the country. What if a player doesn't feel safe playing in the game with the threat of getting sick? Will school take away their scholarship? If the NCAA pushes players to play in empty stadiums, then it shows the players are viewed as athletes who happen to be students, not student athletes, which changes everything when it comes to compensation. That's a story for another video. Having college football games in an empty stadium also takes away the magic of college football. I love college football because of the passionate fans, and due to the fans and energy in the stadiums. The feeling that anything can happen in a game. By having an empty stadium, you take away that magic. Option 4. Only playing conference games. For this to happen, it means that medical professionals deem that it's safe to have people in stadiums and games being played in October. In this situation, every team would probably play 9 conference games and non-conference games would be forgotten about. In this situation, what would happen to big non-conference rivalry games like South Carolina Clemson, Georgia Tech, and Notre Dame USC, or major non-conference games specifically for this year like Wisconsin Notre Dame at Green Bay and Alabama USC? With that, what would happen to Notre Dame, who is not in a conference? If this happens, it'll be interesting to see how the committee views each conference when it comes to the rankings as well. In my opinion, this is the worst best case scenario. Option 5. Spring season. This would rank as another doomsday solution because it means that universities probably won't be opening up again for in-person classes until January. This is probably a worst case scenario for the NCAA as well. The season would probably run from January until May, and you would probably lose out on most of the lower level bowl games. In this scenario, college football would be going head to head with the XFL. The bill in California granting players the ability to make money off their own image would also be in place, and the NCAA would be between a rock and a hard place. Would players like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields decide to sit out the season, or even worse for the NCAA, jump to the XFL? Would players who are entering the draft in the coming season enjoy the idea of playing football and making money over playing a season where they can't earn a dime until the season ends? When would the 2021 season now start? And would early enrolling freshmen be allowed to play? This option would probably have one of the greater effects on the future of college football. Also, the college football season would be going head-to-head with March Madness. Option 6. Half the season in the fall, half the season in the spring. This option would be a lot like the previous ones, but maybe the season does not get to start until the middle or end of October. In this situation, they would play the full season, including the non-conference games. They would probably play until the first or second week of December. Then, due to finals and winter break, they would take a month and a half off. Then, at the end of January, they would restart the season and probably finish right before March Madness would even start. This means we would go from the college football playoffs into March Madness. What is better than that for a worst-case scenario? It would be interesting to see how players decide to go about their seasons. Will players like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields decide to sit out the second half of the year to avoid injury? Or will players decide to leave school halfway through the season to go play in the XFL? Option 7. The show goes on. In this option, the season would start on time and everything is improving in the world. Stadiums are rocking in the last weekend of August and students across America are preparing to start off the school year again. This is the best case scenario and the scenario I hope happens because it means we have gotten our arms wrapped around COVID-19 and we don't need to worry about the virus exploding again. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen over the next few weeks. The NCAA probably will follow the steps of the NFL and wait to make the decision after them. In a worst case scenario, we probably find out the fate of college football season anywhere between the middle of July to the middle of August, which is about 3 months from now. If you want to guarantee college football season starts on time and life returns back to normal sooner rather than later, then stay inside your homes unless you have to. Practice social distancing and wash your hands. I know this is a scary time and this is a controversial video, but stay confident, stay safe, and remember to embrace the grind.